All right, I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Now, tomorrow should be when we get the reveal for the bi-weekly schedule and the next banners coming out. But for now, I want to talk about something very important for you guys to start preparing if you guys have been a lazy bum like me. Now, before we get into it, I just want to put this out there. Just because I think it would be pretty helpful, I mean, at least for me, right, to just say that I've started covering a new game called Ethereal Restart, which is a turn-based PvP game, but also has some very nice raid elements. So if you do want a kind of, I mean, I wouldn't say Honkai Star Rail level, but a very similar-ish game in terms of the animation with pretty good character designs, check out the video and continue following me on these videos. I think like at least checking out my next video coming out to see if it would interest you would be very nice of y'all. Now, let's just get into it. What's the topic? The topic is the SP boosting system that will be coming during the first anniversary. Or a bit later. Sorry, I should say a bit later. So this will come in June. And I think talking about it now is good because for all we know, they throw us like for a loop and release it in May. Now, why would I even think of that? Well, because they released the buff, the set of buffs for Yuta, Ghetto, and all the others early by like a month. Literally a month. Over a month, actually. Literally over a month. Insane to think about. So SP boosts might come out earlier. And the number one thing that you should prepare for, you could click off this video afterwards if you don't care about the rest. What should you prepare for? Domain investigation. Do your domain investigation every single day. And if that's all you need to know, bye-bye, I'll see you in the next video. But why exactly would you need that? Now we're going to get into the context and what exactly SP boosting is. And then we're going to get into the rest. All right, so here we go. SP boosting can be added to every single character. It's like a potential system that you're able to add. Now, that potential system, as we're going to call it, has a bunch of stats. So you could see here, for units that have both Taijutsu and Jujutsu, it's split evenly. Then everyone has a good amount of HP that makes it so dying is a lot harder and in tower almost impossible unless it's in very difficult and very specific floors or you're stalling. Well, like not stalling, but like trying to nuke. Now, besides that, you get an initial 5 extra cursed energy, which is huge for units that take 25 cursed energy, or if it's against a floor that lowers cursed energy, it's huge. Now, one of the biggest things also is every unit gets a mono, like all allies support damage increase. So, for example, he gives the whole team an extra 5% green damage increase. So if you have green supports, obviously it's going to be a lot stronger, which is how they're pushing the mono meta even further, right? For example, on my yellow video, technically my Zonji had an extra maximum of 20% extra damage just from this passive alone, right? And how do you farm these? Oh, well, you have to farm the new event. Now, before we get into that, I do want to say one last thing. Of course, new units. Old units also have SP buffs for their skills. So you'll see, as Muta had, there was empty slots, but for Nanami, it's complete slots. So you're going to see that there's always 2, which means it could either be 2 skills, a passive, or a skill, right? No matter what, it's always going to be 2, as we saw, right? Because they literally made it so easy for them by just literally putting a question mark. Like, it's basically saying the SP buffs will come when... We don't know, but they will come. So let's just go over this real quick and we're going to talk about why it's important. Now, to actually buff the SP of the skill, you need to make sure that the level of the skill is level 10. All right, that's the most negative thing about this, that while these units go from being like B or A tier units to sometimes S or even SS, the problem is the amount of resources it takes. Because if we check it, let's just see how many rainbows it takes from 7 to 10. 3. Guys, it takes 3. And that is quite a lot. And then what happens if it's Jogo, right? Because then Jogo, it's on his ult, right? Jogo is on his ult, and I cannot level it up. Where's Jogo, though? I don't know. I lost Jogo. My goat is gone. So if it's Jogo, it's even worse because it's on his ult. Which means I can't even get it right now because the last one takes another 3. I think it's 3. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's 3. So in total, that's 6. That's 6 of the rainbow crystals to even get his full buffs because it's his passive, the second skill, right? So that's just something very important that pretty much every unit's going to need one of their skills at least level 10. So just making sure that y'all are able to do that and for the units you want is important. Now let's talk about, well, this is actually very important. So the wiki made a graph, so thank you very much, for the level of the buffs, right? Now you could say that Jogo overall is better than Nobara if you so wish, but this is how strong the buffs affected the unit. Right, I would even go so far as to say Green G should be an SS if it's about that. This is not how strong they are, because if you check here, obviously, right, I'm pretty sure Jogo's higher than Nobara. Yeah, right. So just make sure that you're using this as your reference when you check this out. But I think it's linked down below. So just check out the link. You could find this under tier lists and then SP potential, right? So essentially, you just check this and you can see which SP buffs are kind of the best, quote unquote, right? Now, I don't know, they're not all here. This is still not done, I think, but it's still a decent thing to kind of visualize. Now, of course, why are these so important? Well, it helps make tower easier. Not only are your units going to get more stats, which is so big, right? Like, just imagine, let's just check Sukuna, right? I mean, especially because of dupes, it does help multiply with dupes, but in terms of I think Jujutsu was on the right, so that's 100. Let me add it up in calculator. Hold on. It seems to be 1200, which is a lot. It's alongside a 5% damage increase that stacks in the team. So if you're running blue support, it's like blue ghetto, that's another 5%, right? So then it starts adding up, right? It really, really does. Okay, alongside the HP, like it lets you survive more and lets you do way more damage, like a couple million sometimes. So the stats are great. But then of course, for buffing the units. Now let's explain that part of it. So this released with a new game mode. All right, this new game mode is kind of referred to as Sweep Battle, but it's basically Cursed Extermination Sweep Battle, I think is the official name, something like that. Something like that. Now, essentially, you fight with different colors for blue. So blue is red type advantage, red is yellow type advantage, green is blue type advantage, and then yellow is green type advantage. Now, the thing is that this resets every week, so you need to continuously do this. Now, you might be like, oh, but this is pointless. Why would I do this? Well, essentially, you do it so your units get stronger, and when they get stronger, tower becomes easier. Simple, very simple. I think that's very easy to understand. Now you'll see one thing I do want to mention is the materials actually needed, because if you check here, these take special materials. You do need 5 of these, right, for this specific piece. Now to get it, you usually have to clear the harder floors and also sweep level 10. All right, sweeping level 10, or like for the first time, is also pretty difficult. The third way is going to be getting these medallions, right? And all 3 ways are going to let you get that. You need 10 in total to get the full SP buff for the skills, right? So I'm just saving on to these 3 whenever I need it. Oh, it kicked me out. No, okay. I don't know what happened, but this is all to say there's a lot of grinding involved. What you could do right now, of course, is, well, 2 things. Obviously, domain investigation. Domain investigation is going to be the most important to make sure that for the new units, you're able to buff them. The best units on the first batch is going to be by far, either Green YUJI or Green Nanami, right? I think none of the others should be touched. If you go for Nobara, it's really because you don't have Tinjo. But I don't see any other purpose, in my opinion, unless you like Nobara, right? But in the second batch, Jogo and Nobara, I think that besides the units you like really either like or are really good, you should not actually buff them, because that's too many resources wasted when you should probably focus more so on the stats, right? Now the second thing is JP, right? You need JP to level up skills. So the best you could do is farm extra JP to make sure you're in a good realm for level 10ing some skills that you want. Now then, of course, just make sure that you have all that ready and get excited. I mean, listen, Half Annie is coming in 3 weeks time. So we are getting very close, very close. And I'd say the SP battle is going to be amazing. I cannot wait to make more guides. If you want to see how that plays right now, check a bunch of my recent showcases, primarily for Zonji and Meme, because they showcase sweep level 10 runs, and you'll get a good idea of how that works. But yeah, no, this is going to be such an amazing thing to be able to get further in tower, and the amount of content you guys are going to be getting now: 5 tower floors monthly, then we're going to get the 10 tower floors during anniversary Half Annie, then we have sweep battle coming up, and then shortly after sweep battle, for you guys, like a month later, maybe 2, you're going to get the 20 tower floors. Like, that's insane. alongside the 5 monthly tower floors. Like for global, I mean, I hope you guys are happy with that. I'm very happy for you guys that content is coming a lot quicker. So that's huge. Thank you guys for watching the video. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.